we've seen people who've been overwhelmed with their mental health issues, right? Whether that's the unfortunate way of suicide or people who've been Baker acted, right? Who just been on a realm to say, you know what, cool, I just had an episode, right? And I've had mine too. I snap. You know, I've done some reckless shit, but it's never to a point of saying, is that because my snapping is straight dehydration, throwing up, vomiting, like a straight, like, not out of body experience, but just a mental piece to where even my psychologist told me, like, hey, it's all in your mind. It's the different stresses that you end up having throughout life to say, all right, cool, like, this is, you're trying to be professional, you're trying to, you know, be the best that you can in some aspect, you know, presenting yourself, but there are a lot of stresses. On top of that, the economy doesn't really help, especially when you have Trump out here going to bat with Iran, going to bat with storming off on reporters and everything else. And it's like, damn, you know, you would think that some of this is going to come through and some of this is going to work out. But when there's so much uncertainty out there, it's like, damn, what if another pandemic happens? What if I'm called into my job tomorrow and I'm let off? What if, how am I going to make sure I take care of everything else? And I think that's the part that really makes people sit back and say, well, damn, like, they're stressing. Even for a fact, there's some clips I've seen, and I'm gonna shut up in a second. Excuse me, my bad. I didn't mean to burp me on the face. But for a fact of it, it's like people, I've seen a post saying people making $150,000 a year struggling to pay bills. So it's like, okay, what are your expenses? But at the same time, across the board, people are hurting. So it's there, but so even in mental health month, it's like, to me, it shouldn't even be a month. It should be a consistent conversation, right? Where you at checking in with your homies? Where you at checking in, making sure you can, like, check in with your family, or at least, because I think men have so much stuff bottled in. Even talking to a lot more psychologists and therapists, are like, not just mine, but people in general, they're like, you know, men die alone. And it's like, think about that. Like, everything bottled in. It's like women have friends that have networks, but men, they don't have, outside their associates they may be linked to, they're in the house. So that's when it ends up being like, you know, that's more of a epidemic, because at the same time it's like, you never want.
Is that there's actually an uptick in one, short sales, and two, foreclosures. So we're seeing more pre foreclosures or full on foreclosures because people can no longer afford these houses that they've gotten themselves into, or you have refi. There's no more equity in the house. There's all the things and you can't afford all these refis. You can't afford the second and third mortgages that you've taken out. Something that a lot of people did a couple years ago was doing the deferment during COVID, especially during that period when a lot of people were not working. They did that deferment. Well, now they have this deferment loan on their houses, and maybe they're still in a financial situation, or they're going through a new financial situation, and it's affecting them selling that house. And um, ultimately, a short sale, a pre-foreclosure, foreclosure hurts them from being able to buy again in that time frame as well, because it's all on your credit, because one, you have been paying your mortgage, and that gets reported and all this other stuff. So it makes, if you're a smart investor, you can get some good investments right now because of what's going on. But for your everyday consumer who is just looking to provide shelter for their family, it can hurt them. So, and in this particular state, you know um where can you rent something for less than $1,000, and it's not a one bedroom?
Come on,
uh
maybe
Wages.
$1,000 in somebody's house.
uh, Thank you. you know and what are your wages? You know what I'm saying? Does your paycheck constitute you being able to pay that that for housing? So yeah, we are seeing the effects of those things.
I can imagine that, and
Yeah. First, number one, bull, Bullshit. That was your bag of coke in the White House. Hunter Biden, it mostly definitely was not. I would never have forgotten my drugs. I remember that one, actually. That actually was a great one. Number two, I bet you're grateful for that pardon, Hunter Biden. I sure am. Number three, gonna need Hunter Biden to also call Stephen Miller an ugly fuck. Hunter Biden, Stephen Miller is an ugly fuck. Number four, a vote for Hunter is a crack to the system. Has a nice ring to it. Hunter Biden 2028. Hunter Biden, a vote for Hunter is a crack to the system. Now that's a campaign slogan. You see what I'm saying? He's swinging back. He's finding the humor in it. He's not wrong. I think he's doing great. I think he's doing phenomenal.
That
Last one that I'm gonna
damn.
read. Last one I'm gonna read. Hunter, I'd vote for you, but even if you're sober, which is great, I would require at least one crack joke campaign ad to pledge my loyalty. I await your response. Hunter Biden, how about let's take another crack with a Biden?